Guys, welcome back to another episode of Atlas Survival Shelters. I got some urgent news for you guys. Attention to the approximate 100,000 Wise food customers. The federal government now knows who you are. And you ask, why is this? Well, apparently Wise Food Company, which I personally like the people there, and I have some of their food right here. It turns out the entire time of the business, they've been misleading customers. I'm going to actually, to make this easier, I'm just going to read off the report that was posted yesterday, March 8th, on the Daily Sheeple. Okay? So go along with me here. All right? Okay. So it says, Wise Food Storage turns over purchase records to government as part of shocking class action lawsuit. Major preparedness food company releases over 99,000 purchase records to government. A class action lawsuit against Wise Food Company, a survival and emergency food company, was filed on February 15, 2017 for unlawful, unfair, and deceptive advertising and business practices. Last year, the company agreed to settle the suit and is expected to announce the settlement on its website by the end of business today, which was yesterday. The class action, known as Miller v. Wise Company, Inc., U.S. District Court, Central District of California, case number 5:17-CV-00616-JAK-PLA, alleges that on its website and packaging, Wise made misrepresentations and omitted material information on how long its long-term food kits would last and how many people they would feed. Customers who brought the cases, the plaintiffs, alleged that as a result, customers were induced to pay more for those products than otherwise would have. The Daily Sheeple can report that not only did Wise Company allegedly mislead customers about the nutritional content of their products, it appears that the company handed over highly confidential customer data to the government, not once, but twice during the proceedings. The following phrases were all used in describing the complaint: false and misleading advertising, deceptive acts and practices, likely to deceive members of the general public. Here are the lawsuit claims directly from the court documents. Wise Food Company fails to disclose that if the consumer in fact eats the number of prescribed servings each day necessary to make the food kits last for the advertised period of time, the consumer will effectively starve or suffer adverse health effects, given that the food kits provide drastically fewer calories and nutrients than are needed to adequately sustain adults for the advertised periods of time. Wise Company's long-term and emergency food kits provide less than half the daily calories necessary for an average adult to survive. Consequently, a person who credits Wise Company's representations and attempts to survive on its long-term food kits for the specified period of time faces serious physical and mental health. Risks include dehydration, hypothermia, hypotension, impaired renal and liver function, depression, and impaired cognition. Some of the kits have an average as low as only 453 calories per day. A paltry amount of food by any measure, and certainly not enough to sustain an individual in the kind of emergency situation for which Wise Company foods are marketed. In fact, a prisoner in Auschwitz during the World War II Germany were provided more calories than Wise Food Storage has consistently given to their customers. This is bad, guys. Wise Company turned over data over to the court during the case's proceedings. Perhaps worse than the alleged deception regarding the nutritional content of the food is the appearance that proprietary, highly confidential customer sales data has been disclosed in the case. As many as 99,405 purchase records of customers have already been handed over to the government. That means they know who you are, guys. This is why I don't keep records of any of my customers. I expect the government to come day looking for bunkers, and bunkers are going to have food and gun. And basically, it's a federal law to not have, you can't have more than like 2 weeks of food stored up, yet people have years of food stored up. So you got to keep it quiet, you got to bury it, and you got to keep it secret, or they're going to come take it one day when the socialists have their ways, guys, and it's not far off. So this is crazy. So Wise expects discovery will show that plaintiffs have not actually consumed any of the products they purchased and therefore have suffered no injury, and in fact whatsoever, but instead merely exchanged one form of property, money, for another, food. So their excuse is, well, but no one's eaten it yet. I'll have a comment on this later, my personal opinion. Wise has produced about 13 pages of documents as well as summary sales information, which it has designated confidential, showing the number of individuals, that's you guys, who have purchased each of the long-term food kits, the purchase channel, Wise website, over the phone through a third party. That means somebody buying Wise and selling it to you guys. The number of products sold and the price of the products during the relevant years. While documents submitted during the discovery phase of the proceedings designate their customers list as confidential, this only prevents members of the general public from accessing it under freedom of information. The government still has it, it says. Members of the class, on average, are eligible for a refund of $15 to $1,400 per eligible product purchased during the class period. So that means, guys, if you purchase some Wise food, you need to get your name on the list so you can get a refund on your food, and then you can get some food that's going to last. And it's why I've been telling you, you need to get your food in number 10 cans, or number 10 cans. This is why I did an earlier video. This right here is 32 years old and I ate it. If you're going to bug in at your house, get number 10 cans, because the food just lasts in number 10 cans. These Mylar packs, I have some Mylar packs that I got in 2012. And by 2016, they were stored in here. 4 years later, I opened them. They had turned black. So I don't trust the food in the Mylar packs. Okay? You know, I mean, they're made for you to buy them, go camping, eat them, be done with them. So your long-term food storage needs to be in number 10 cans. Now, if you're bugging out and you have a backpack, you can't be carrying number 10 cans. But if you're going to bug in long-term, you want number 10 cans. Mountain House, Emergency Essentials, Augustin Farms, whatever brand you want. But get number 10 cans, okay? So anyway, Wise will pay $110,000 to the settlement administrator, almost $600,000 in attorney's fees for plaintiff, and the company's own attorney's fees. If all members of the class request their refund, total liability to Wise is over $2 million. Well, that's not too bad considering the company probably, I'm guessing, does about $30 million a year. So I would say they've sold probably $250 million of their food, or somewhere between $150 and $250 million of food in the 10 years that I think they've been open. That's a lot of food. Okay. Turns out this isn't the first time Wise Food Storage has been in trouble. A shocking report from 2015 claimed that at the time, Wise Foods weren't being packaged in a manner consistent with long-term food storage. Now that, I know about that, and I'll show this here on the screen. This is a report that was basically done by Mountain House. They hired a private consultant to test their food, and basically it didn't have the proper oxygen or something like that. And I've known this. You know, this prepper industry, guys, is a very small industry. All right? Pretty much everybody knows everything about everybody, okay? And there are some dirty people in this industry, okay? I'm not saying all the food people. I'm just saying in my industry, there's some bad people in this industry. If you knew the facts on everything, and I haven't spilled the beans on it, there are some bad hombres doing what I'm doing. But that's for another day. So, as part of the settlement agreement, Wise has been allowed to not exchange their advertising practice until they sell all their existing inventory. We have been told by a Wise ex-employee familiar with the case that Wise has purchased large amounts of food inventory to allow them to milk it as long as possible. That's just sleazy right there. So they knew this was coming, so they built up the inventory so they can continue to sell you the food that isn't going to do the job. And it's ironic because I've got this Wise food right here. I got a pallet of Wise food in just like 10 days ago. And I did a video on it on how to bury food in a septic tank. And now I feel like I felt like a freaking idiot. And I don't know what to do with this Wise food. Ironically, I took home a 3-day pack to the hotel the other day. I'm going to release a video on it. And I lived on it for 3 days. And one of the things that's wrong on it, it says you add 2 cups of boiling water. And if you do that, you end up with soup. Okay, so I poured it out of the thing after eating some of it. It says put in 2 cups of water. I put in 1.5 cups just to be kind of, so it'd be kind of on the dry side. And don't look anything like the picture. It looks more like a soup or whatever, but I ate most of the pasta out of the bag, but this is what it looked like after I poured it out. So they need to definitely put on their thing, don't put so much water in there. If I put 2 cups of water in there, I mean, literally, it would be a soup. So you got to add like 1 cup of boiling water to get it to the consistency that you like. The other thing was, I got a stomach cramp every time I ate something. I had a cramp afterwards. Now, I don't know if that's just me, but it gave me a cramp. Well, I'm laying in bed. I ate that 3rd thing of Wise food, and I've got a stomach ache again. I don't know what it is. Just don't know what it is. But I was hungry. Damn it. And this is what happened to me like 7, 8 years ago when the original owner, Brian, the company, the guy who started the company was named Brian. And then he sold it to an investment company. And then I believe that they sold that to another investment company. So this is the 3rd owner of Wise Food, and they're an excellent marketing company, but they're not food experts apparently because, but they did a hell of a job of marketing. Every time I turn on my computer, I see a retargeting ad, Wise Food, Wise Food, Wise Food. So they're an incredibly talented marketing company, but I don't think they're food experts. And I guess it's in there now. These guys have inherited the problems that the other people started. But ironically, in my head, I was sitting there thinking from years ago when I saw that Wise Food, that packet, when I opened it up and it was black, that was a Wise Food pack because the guy gave me some of his food. That I was sitting there thinking, well, this stuff isn't going to last no 25 years. These guys are going to end up getting in a class action lawsuit. And sure enough, boom, what'd I tell you? I saw it coming. I just didn't say nothing because I just didn't say nothing. But you know what? I'm not going to hold back now. But, I mean, Wise is an incredibly marketing company, and they sell the hell out of it. I think they're number 2 just to Mountain House. But that probably will change now. So I don't know if they're going to change their packaging practices and try to be honest, or if this will put them out of business. I guess time will tell. As of the time of this story, Wise is still selling kits by time frame that will have unsafe levels of calories. So this is bad, guys. This is bad. So I don't know what to tell you. I guess I would tell you, you better eat up your Wise food or replace it or do some more studying on the actual nutritional value of this stuff. But I'm just going to go by my personal experience that I don't trust their food in the Mylar packs to last the amount of time based on the fact. Hold on a second. I'm going to walk over here and see if there's one of them over here. Okay. I guess I threw them out. But they were in a box over there in the corner, and he gave me a whole box of them, like I said, like 2012, when I did Doomsday Preppers. He came down and filmed with me. And I'm talking about the owner of Wise back then, a guy named Brian. But, I would eat on the food every now and then, but one time I ate 2 of them. I was hungry, so I ate one. I was still hungry, so I ate another one. And, boy, I had a stomach cramp for like 3-4 hours. I'm like, oh man, what was in that food? It made me, I had the worst cramp. So I didn't eat none after that, because it's like when you eat something, it makes you sick to your stomach. You just don't eat it again. And then, like 3-4 years later, I'm hungry and I go, oh, you know what? There's nothing. And I saw some of that Wise food stuck back there. And then this is just room temperature. So I said, I'm going to cook one up. I opened it up and it was black inside. It turned black. And I'm like, man, these guys, if their food don't even last 4 years, maybe it was a fluke. But I was sitting there thinking, these guys are going to get their ass sued one day if their food doesn't last. These guys better hope that doomsday or a natural disaster never happens, because, man, this ain't going to be good. And sure enough, it happened. And And of course, I personally don't know the people too well. I've met them, and they were nice to me. And they actually, because I did a video of a bunker, and the lady had $7,000 of Wise food under her floor. She had it pulled out. I didn't set that up. That wasn't staged. I wasn't promoting Wise food. But I saw it in there. She had Mountain House. She had Augustin Farms. She had some good brands in there, but she had a bunch of Wise food. So I'll be honest with you, the guy sent me a pallet of food because I put out that video, and it went viral. It's got like 660,000 views in like 4 weeks now. So they sent me a pallet of food and said, thank you very much. Would you do another video and put our food in there? So I shot a video about burying the septic tank. So it showed me opening the pallet like I'm showing right here. This is the pallet coming in. I opened it up, and I was going to do a video on burying the food, and but I didn't call the brand out by name because I don't promote basically anybody. When I tell you guys about a brand of food or something, I'm telling you because I'm buying it for myself. And the only ones I can honestly stand by, number one, by far, is Mountain House. You can bet your life on Mountain House. It costs more, but it's good. Then you got the Emergency Essentials, and then you've got the Augustin Farms. And I don't really know all the brands, but these are the two that I am hoarding up now. And I don't mind calling these out by name, but you'll never hear me promoting the Wise food because of my past experience. Okay? I apologize to you guys at Wise if you're watching this, but I'm just being honest. I have a duty to my followers on YouTube to give them honest opinions. And I know I'm going to be on Wise's shit list, but guys, I'm being honest to you. I never liked their food from the beginning, and I was just didn't want to burn bridges, you know, with people that are in the same industry. But when you read that this company is practicing deceptive practices, dishonest this and dishonest that, I don't remember the things that are listed in the lawsuit, that's not good. And I am a person of integrity and morals, and I do it right or I don't do it at all. This is why I make my shelters the way I do it, and I don't do it like my competitors. When you go down in a bunker, to do it right, you should go down and you have to make a 90-degree turn to go to your bunker. The reason that is because the radiation will go straight to the bunker if you just go straight down the bunker. Now, I do make bunkers where you walk down the stairs and you go straight in the bunker. But I show them as wine cellars and gun rooms and stuff. But my bunkers, my truly good bomb shelters and fallout shelters, always you go down and you make a turn, left or to the right, but there's a 90-degree turn, and that attenuates the gamma radiation. And that is the proper way to do a fallout shelter. Okay? Now, I have some shelters that don't do that, but I don't push them as really fallout shelters. I push them as tornado shelters or bug out rooms or anything but a bomb shelter. But a properly made shelter will always have a 90-degree turn, not like this image I'm showing you right here. You see, this is how my competition and most people do it. But guess what, guys? These guys aren't freaking rocket scientists, okay? They're people who are just welders making tornado shelters or doing whatever they do, and they, at the best of their ability, they think they're doing it right. But they haven't met and talked with the engineers from the Army Corps of Engineers and the people with high IQs that I have worked with who taught me right from wrong. So I feel sorry for you guys that have spent $100,000 or $1 million in buying a bunker from one of these people because you have just a coffin in the ground. You might as well be outside. When you have a hatch that is right there at the surface and just straight down to the door, the amount of Rinkins that will get into your bunker is going to kill you. You got to have the 90-degree turns. You got to do it right or it's not properly engineered. Go to any Swiss military bunker and you will see zigzag walls like this to attenuate all the gamma radiation. You'll never have a straight in entrance into a bunker. It's crazy. But I do some like that, but I don't. I tell the people honestly what they are. They're for tornadoes. They're for different things. Okay, they're for maybe for wildfire or something. But my properly made bomb shelters have a 90-degree turn, just like this here. So here's a comparison. Here's mine. Here's theirs. You see how mine has, you go down, it has a turn, and now you see theirs where, you see how the staircase is just going straight down into the bunker? That's how they make it, but that's not right. But I do the same thing, but I call it a tornado shelter, and these people call it a bomb shelter or a fallout shelter. It's anything but that. Okay, now is it better than nothing? Hell yeah, it's better than nothing. Will it do the job? Very good. More likely if you're at the far end of the bunker and you stay away from that door, you might be okay. But if you want to do it right, you do it the way I did, because I was taught right from the very beginning, before I ever made a bunker, that you go down, you make a 90-degree turn, and you got to travel a certain amount of distance between that turn and the entrance. Okay? And that is why Atlas is the company to do your bunkers, because I stand for integrity and morals, and I have the proper engineering. Okay? So just keep that in mind. I wasn't planning on talking about my own bunkers. Somebody keeps texting me here. But anyway, guys, I'm sorry to give you the bad news about this Wise food. But as you can see, I'm going to post this article and a link to the article below on this video so you can read for yourselves and you can see what I'm talking about. So all I'm doing is I'm just delivering the news that you're going to get eventually anyway. But like I said, I'm very disappointed in Wise. I saw this coming. I never said nothing because I was hoping it wouldn't be true, but apparently it's true. And like I said, all this news happened as of yesterday. So I don't know what their settlement was. I'm sure it's posted on social media or somewhere. It's on public information if you want to look it up. But guys, I wish I had better news for you. Again, as always, I appreciate you watching my channel. Guys, I hope you share this video with other people, because there's 100,000 people who have bought this food. And that is going to translate to probably 400,000 people, because one person buys it for a family. So take that 100 times 4. That's 400,000, maybe 500,000 people that are in jeopardy now, because the federal government may have your records and know who you are. And you're probably on a list one day that they're going to come after you and your food. So take that food, find out how nutritious it is, go bury it in a septic tank or do something with it. Get it the hell out of your house and start looking to replace your food. And like I said, get some number 10 cans. Just do your background checks on the food before you buy it this time. Don't go out and run and buy $10,000 of food all at one time without even testing it. These people will send you samples of their food. So try it. Live on it for a weekend. See what it does to your stomach. If you like it, then get it. I can guarantee you the Mountain House is going to be fine. I can guarantee you the emergency essential stuff is going to be fine. I can't say anything about all the other ones. There's Legacy and there's Patriots and there's other ones. I don't know much about them because I haven't tried them. But all I know is the two that I've got. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this Wise food now. I really don't. I mean, maybe we could all give it to the homeless. I'm sure they would like it. But another thing about this food, I'm sorry to keep rambling, is some of the food in these packs is not made for backpacking. So you can't just add water, seal it up. They may be in Mylar packs, but they're made to be cooked on a stove. Okay? Hold on, I'll show you this. So I took home a bucket of this Legacy, or I didn't take it home, I took it to the hotel, and I was going to live on it, and I didn't know this. I mean, I'm learning like you. I'm kind of a survival enthusiast as well, and I don't know everything about everybody. But this Legacy food, which I guess is good, it's not the Mylar, it's Mylar packs, but you have to rip them open, you have to cook it on a stovetop. So I was just going to add hot water to this Legacy food and eat it this weekend, and none of it is that way. So make sure you know what you're getting. So you need to get the food either that you're going to cook in your house, or you're going to be able to put it in a backpack and just add hot water, because I thought this was the kind you just add hot water and you zip it up for 15 minutes, then you eat it out of the bag, and I was wrong. But anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching my channel. I love you. See you on the next video.